Welcome to this live. I am Elasa, your guide, your soul guide, truly my soul guide, and you are your soul guide, but here to channel any kind of soul guidance messages. It's 11:11 Eastern Standard Time, and we are in Floor Ida. So the floor of Ida, the feminine channel, the Ida and Bengala, or Ida and Bengala, those two channels that go up your spine, around your energy centers, and end at your nostrils. And so we're here to balance our central channel and be fully embodied. That means you're authentic, you're the highest potential you that ever walked and wiggled and shimmied across this plane of existence, meaning we're here to allow ourselves to be more malleable and flexible so that we can actually ground all the way, feet on the ground, and be present to be our best self. So these channeled messages are about anything that would help with that. And this rising is already, I just did a short video on the wiggle, has already been about, being more flexible and malleable so that we can actually allow for things to shapeshift pretty fast, as well as to keep your energy vibrating up your spine. So I invite you just to do a little shimmy. If you feel like you have messages to channel to yourself, which you do always, and if it feels like you're stiff or stagnant, going on a walk, a skip, a run, a dance, turning on music, doing artistic type things, creation, and even wiggling your spine. If you find that you naturally do that when you start to sit and meditate, don't resist it, be stiff, but allow your body to undulate and move, because it's going to move that energy, those lower, denser energies from your base up your central channel, up your spine, so that you're stimulating the crown opening and your higher glands of the thalamus, the pituitary, pineal, hypothalamus, to all be illuminated and lit up with vibrations. So everything is always moving. And when we find ourselves stiff because of disuse, whether it's a body part, ability, a skill, we got to wiggle it. We got to practice. We got to, stretch back into it. So I'm just going to pull one card before you get started with listening to what wants to be channeled through in this now moment on 11:11, a gateway of heaven. And it's the return. These are the rose deck, the rose oracle, and the return, a new story. You decide, alignment, it's coming together. So it's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm getting ready to launch a new you, a new identity, 21-day challenge, and even a 6-week program on really allowing practices that bring new alignment and bring you in quickening of allowing the highest and best potentials to happen and ground themselves. So it's a real request for the return of the true you, the return of your exact, beginning point of the potent Godhead source being that you are, that is constantly flowing these light particles that just, exude from you like a sun, so you're this sun and you are exuding these light particles that are literally stacking up on themselves to create the sum total of your feelings, thoughts, and emotions, but also more importantly, the things that your heart and mind coherent about. So we are already feeling that this message is going to, still be working with the new you. And so is that who wants to communicate? It's our highest potential self that wants to communicate. And the highest potential self is showing me how when you are sensing cycles that are coming about, meaning you get around a revolution, let's say a birthday or a holiday or something that's been encoded socially on our calendars, or an event, a marker event that's happened that has you circling around a repeat, a rhythm, a pattern. And that pattern that you're noticing, the biofeedback of that movement around the cycle and catching that marker point may need you to go ahead and dissolve and dismantle all the cycles, all the patterning that they're showing me now, like you dropped a pebble down from that event. And sometimes those events, have excitement. And if the excitement is below the heart and essentially more of like a a fear drop of a pebble, we don't want those to be cascading again and again every time you get around, let's say, to this, so-called marker date of 08, what is it, a 10, seemingly August 10th. We don't want that to happen again and again. We want, if it is to happen again and again, to be a drop of a pebble of your most potent self, your most joy, your most bliss. So anywhere you've ever dropped pebbles in the pond, your highest version self is saying, just be willing to dematerialize, let go, and dissolve out of those conception points and those patterns that rippled out. Good. And we're going to release all that. And then come back to a new epicenter at the 0 point, at the 0 point of the heart center, when you touch your thymus gland, your breastplate, and smile and drop in a new pebble in this now moment of your highest potential being here right now. So you are the highest potential. You are a legend. You are star sparkle that's infinitely cascading love light remembered. So if there is any memory of cycle, it's the love light that you're remembering. Okay. And so cycles are time-based. Those ripples out from the pebble, those concentric circles that ripple out and create those cycles, those are all time-based. So if you are staying present in your every now moment, meaning, or you're working at that, being more present, staying focused on streaming forth that what you're feeling or what you're needing to sing or communicate or dance through, or you notice in your now moment, someone comes into your awareness and you're going to give them your presence and your, receptivity to actually receive that which you've brought them for, then you're out of time. And so you're essentially making every new now moment is like a new pebble, a new pebble, a new pebble. And as long as you stay present in that 0 point in the heart and in your central channel, not far off to the right or far off to the left or worried about the past or the future, you literally transcend all the cycles and patterns. So that's, where we're getting to is by being our own soul guidance, being our own inner, authority. We're learning to find anywhere and everywhere that could have you outside of your central channel. So you practicing dropping in to your channel and listening and, just getting silent and tuning in, or being more deliberate and asking yes or no questions, is going to help you maintain your authenticity and your stance as your own inner authority, meaning you're not looking outside of yourself for the answers, but you're really allowing the attunement of the wisdom and clarity to come from what feels good, the guidance that comes to you, and then, moving forward from that now moment. So is that it on new, on highest version self? Yes. And is there one more thing we can drop into? Two more. Okay. So what is next? Has to do with the heart codes that are wanting to experience more bliss and abundance, and coming out of the belief systems that all of the external world will tell you around abundance and around your ability to create magic and create instant manifestations that are beyond logic. So the heart wants you to let go of logic, and really, let go of that entirety of the key that was, it's like they're showing me a lock on your brain, on the left side of the brain, that needs to be undone, this padlock, so that you could just let go of logic and really step into the magic, and now they're reminding me of things that people tell me, which they'll say, Elasa, I don't know if I can imagine that, aren't I making this up? Or I'll ask them to tune in and listen to what they're hearing. And they'll say that well, I'm hearing this, but I'm just making this up, and my response and spirit's response is, yes, you're making all this up. This is a game. And the game is for mastery of remembering the keys to the kingdom, the thoughts, the kingdom. Your thoughts are the keys to the reality creation. And if you feel good about those thoughts, awesome, you're on a good trajectory. If you don't feel good about these masterful thoughts that you say to yourself, like, I can imagine something and it's going to come true. If you have this lower version self, a padlock on logic that says, oh no, I can't, then you need to work on healing that deep inner wound that possibly came to you from a child, they're showing me, where you were told that you couldn't think that way, that you were told, um, you know, stop imagining, or, you're coloring too far outside of the lines, they're showing me. So all of that inner childhood, um, logic set up from belief systems and conditioning, we're just going to go ahead and drop out of those, release and clear, and let yourself just release it. I'm using little movements like snaps and claps, and my hands moving, my breath on the the exhale out my mouth. Whatever works for you. You can say clear, cancel, delete, and then re-upload, right? A new now, a new feeling that says, my imagination is the key. I need to go big, bigger than I've been with my feelings and thoughts, and allow myself to have more, allow myself to wiggle it open. And so the last thing I'm seeing on that is that if you feel like, there's dissonance between that feeling or that new imagined reality, or a new imagined feeling, that it's too big, you may need to find those belief systems. I did a post yesterday. You need to find those belief systems that are literally capping off your container and keeping your volume of reality small. So if you go to say, I can instantly create the most magical partner to walk in the door right now, and that seems too far-fetched for you, or you're like, I'm going to instantly create an opportunity that allows me to go to the Bahamas today. If that doesn't feel like it's attainable, then find the place that you have capped off with a belief system or a false belief system that's keeping that volume small, that's keeping you unable to instantly drop into that higher version reality through your imagination, your imagined thought, and your imagined feeling. So I'm just going to do a call out on that one to complete our call today. So anywhere and everywhere that you may be conscious or unconscious, that within your subconscious body, mind, or the blueprint, the map system that's outside in space, if you're aware of these belief systems or false beliefs, great. If not, we're just going to do a big cleanup, that everywhere you're allowing right now to go ahead and release and clear, dissolve, dismantle any false beliefs or beliefs that keep you limited, keep you capped off, keep your volume of reality actually being big. And allowing you to be more imaginative, be more creative, be more playful with your reality creation. So if you are interested in joining me on a 21-day new you challenge, new identity, drop in the comments that you want information on that. And I am putting it all together with source guidance next few risings, and I will send it to you, or I'll put it in this description